Hey, what's going on here, folks? It's Kurt here with my channel Make It Last. It is a 50-degree day here in December in the Northeast here in Massachusetts. It's a little damp. It has been raining the last couple days. I would definitely rather have the snow so I could go out and have a little bit of enjoyment. So I will get straight to the point. First off, though, I want to say if you are a continuing subscriber, thanks for subscribing and watching my videos. I know I don't have a lot of crazy content out there. It's basic stuff right now. And of course, as my channel states, I'm making things last. And obviously I have a Toyota Tacoma, and a lot of it's related to that. And I do plan on doing some more videos. There's no whistle and diesel crazy stuff like that. And I'm going to do the best I can to provide some content to build my channel in hopes of making it more progressive in the future. So today I'll get to the point here. My 2011 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport, which is actually now a TRD Overland per my decal I put on there to kind of change it and be a little bit different than the pack. I'm going to imitate a few different situations by putting a jack stand underneath one tire. There is another video out there on a third gen that this is done, or somebody has done. And how the electronic limited slip differential works is basically a brake activated, almost like a brake activated locker. So I will imitate a few different situations with some wheels off the ground to see how the truck performs in two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, 4-low, and I also do have a yellow wire mod, and that turns the traction control on 4-low in the second gen Tacomas. There is another video out there of a third gen SR5, and I believe that the 4-low, the traction control works with 4-low on the third gens, which it doesn't on the second gen. So where they all vary. I do not have a locker. I do have an ARB compressor for onboard air and such. I don't go crazy as far as off-roading. I plow with the truck, and I do have two 65/70/17s on it, equipped with a 2.5-inch lift in the front, Old Man Emu, HD springs, and HD springs in the rear, as long as and shocks too. So rock sliders and such, but I do drive the truck every day, and I tend to take care of it. It's got to last a while. And so anyway, the situations I'm going to put in here, I'll let you know, is going to be not only the traction situations. I'm also going to do with this lift, I'm going to take two of my car ramps. I'm going to put either the left front and the right rear, or the right rear and the left front. I'm going to lift it, or flex this thing out with car ramps and see if it pulls tires off the ground with this suspension lift with a it's actually a TRD off-road sway bar. I didn't want to go without a sway bar. I just don't like the way independent suspension feels without it, and I don't really do enough off-roading to need that. So without further ado, I will spin around and we'll do our first test here. Okay, obviously, as you can see there, the ELSD did actually work. It didn't do exactly what I was thinking it was going to do. It wouldn't even tip the truck off the jack stand. It basically lost traction on the right rear wheel, but it did work, and it put power to the wheel on the ground and just dug a hole in my driveway here in the gravel. So I am going to next, I do have a little section of blacktop. I'm also going to jack it up and put a jack stand under the left wheel and see what it does on the blacktop. So there you have it. The second situation where the truck is on blacktop, one tire is lifted off the ground with no traction, and the other tire is on the ground with traction. So the system does as it should. It put the brake on the tire that was in the air and put traction to the right side tire that has got the traction. It's not as quick as a mechanical locker, but it does the job, and the truck moved on. So the second situation I'm going to do is I'm basically going to take a jack stand and lift the driver's side of the truck up and get both the front and rear wheels off the ground and put it in 4-low without my yellow wire mod turned on, and we will see what it does with that. Okay, so while I couldn't get the driver's side completely off the ground because my floor jack would not extend, even with a car ramp, it was a little sketchy to get it all the way off the ground. The driver's side has no traction and the jack stand is under there. The left front wheel and right rear wheel have no resistance on the ground, where the left front wheel is actually digging a little bit of the gravel up. So this will be 4 low, and as I stated, the TRD Sport and the SR5 in the second gen does not actually have a traction system that works in the 4 low. It'll actually turn it off on the dash and illuminate a light stating it is off. So this first test, like I said, will be 4 low. We will see what happens. Okay, the 4 low in the Tacoma second gen TRD Sport or SR5, not the off-road because it has 8-track. I'm sure that may work different. It probably will work in 4 low. The wheels without traction, the two that are off the ground with no traction on the driver's side, obviously it's just going to spin and spin all day and not go anywhere. So this next one will be 4 low with the yellow wire mod. So the traction control is actually turned on in 4 low. There's other videos out there doing this. I don't know how good it is for the truck. Um, I guess just to get you out of a sticky situation, it can overheat the brakes and things like that. So I wouldn't go crazy. Even in 4 high, the traction control I believe does work, and we'll find that out in the next test. So in snow and slippery surfaces like that, then it'll engage and put most power to the ground on regular road driving conditions. So anyway, I will spin around and I will click the button inside the dash that tricks the computer into putting the traction control on in 4 low. By any means, if you do this, it's at your own risk. And like I said, I have mechanical knowledge for 15 years. I know how things work. So if I break something, it's my own will here. Okay, as you can see there, that was 4 low with the yellow wire mod, and it turned on, so the traction control was working in 4 low. Keep in mind, if you do the yellow wire mod, the increased torque in 4 low, it tends to not work as well in 4 low. Like something like 8-track that has a hydro boost brake system, whereas this is just it's basically a vacuum brake system with an ABS pump that actually puts hydraulic pressure to the wheels that are slipping to apply the brake. I know the hydro boost can actually clamp down real tight on a wheel and actually basically stop it from moving at all, whereas this system probably isn't as effective as that. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the same side of the truck off, or it's off the ground, and I'm going to lift it up with and put the jack stand under there, and I'm going to actually leave it in 4 high. And the truck in a second gen doesn't turn the traction control off on 4 high. So we'll see what it does with that. Okay, this is going to be 4 high, and it's going to be the way the truck comes factory, as if you were driving it down the road in 4-wheel drive at whatever speed you choose. This is how the traction control is actually going to work, without turning anything on, pushing any buttons or anything like that. It's just the way the truck comes. Okay, that there was 4 high with regular traction control, the way the truck comes from the factory, imitating a slippery situation where 2 wheels had no traction and the other 2 did have traction. It seems the brake, even in the yellow wire mod and in the 4-wheel high, actually gives more power to the rear end. I didn't really see that. Of course, there's a lot more weight on the front end too, but that right rear wheel, as you look in the photo, you can actually see it kicking up the gravel pretty good. So it's putting real good power, and it's clamping down on that left side brake to put traction to the wheel without traction. Um, as far as the front, it's obviously not doing that. And there's also, like I said, a lot more weight on the front with the engine and everything up there. So in the end, it's probably actually alternating more power to the right front, I would assume, because that one is the wheel with the most traction. So I'm going to try to somehow get this truck up on 3 wheels and allow the rear to hang. I'm assuming just how this is going right now, if I put the truck up and I just have one rear wheel off the ground, and I'm sorry, if I have 3 wheels off the ground and just one rear wheel on the ground, I'm just going to keep spinning. The traction isn't going to overcome the having all 3 wheels off the ground. The truck's not going to pull through, so I'm probably not going to do that situation. I will do for you, I'm just going to put one front wheel on the ground. I'll take the back ones off the ground, and I will take the left front off the ground. We'll see what it does there. And then I'm also going to take a little bit of a ride, and I'm going to go try to find some similar, basically just do some flexing. And besides the flexing, I'm going to do with the car ramps to see if the wheels pull off the ground with a sway bar. But I will go up into our local our little trail here in Berkshire County, and see if I can find like a flexing situation and see how good it imitates and pulls a wheel off the ground climbing something flexing. Okay, this one here is going to be 4 high, and I switched it up a little bit. I put the jack stand on the right front, so the right front tire is off the ground. I'll show you how it spins before I give it gas. Another thing is you got to give the truck you got to start going from quarter throttle to half throttle. You really actually got to give it some gas in order for the brakes to clamp down. So you kind of feel like you're beating the heck out of the truck, but in reality, a quick grab of the brakes. The truck's designed to do it, so it's not going to hurt anything. So both back wheels are off the ground. I'm hoping that it'll just slide off the jack. I've kind of got it on the edge of the rear end. Hopefully I don't do nothing stupid today like I always do, but I'm going to hop in it and we'll see what it does. All right, there you have it. That was 4 high, and I'm not going to indicate the 4 low with the yellow wire mod because, again, I think or with the one wheel on the back on the ground, because I already kind of know what's going to happen. It's probably just going to spin out because you got the weight of the front on the ground with both of them wheels, and just the one wheel is just going to, I mean, I'm sure on blacktop it would definitely grab itself and go. But that did clamp down the wheels that were spinning, and it did put power to the left front wheel. As you can see, you didn't actually see it, grab and like the rear wheels and spin up gravel, but it did work. So the system in the Toyota Tacoma for the TRD Sport and SR5 without the A-Track is pretty darn effective as far as I'm concerned. And it's, if anybody's got an ABS light on, or they've got a problem with this system, check engine light comes on, that disables it. So if you go out 4-wheeling and you happen to go into a crappy spot and you rip the ABS lines out and you're not even aware the truck has this system and you're in 4 high, you may be having some trouble on your way back without having the traction control system. And while it's not a locker, and I don't know if I'll ever put a locker in this truck, because it does great. I mean, it really does. I can't complain. The places that I go, and up here in the Northeast, not so much Vermont, but Massachusetts, they're starting to block off more and more trails, so you have least amount of places to actually take the truck. So again, while I drive it every day, I keep the truck up. It's nice to know it does have this system, even if I just want to go and pull somebody out and I got to get into an area that's kind of crappy. So next off, I'm going to do a simulated flex test here in the driveway with some car ramps. Again, I've switched the sway bar over from a TRD Sport, which is a lot stiffer, a lot better on the road handling. The ride is definitely a lot rougher, but I got it from it's actually a third gen sway bar that was given to me from somebody who didn't want the sway bar up front. So I drove and got the sway bar from them. It is an off-road, TRD off-road third gen. So I did confirm it fits on the second gen. I couldn't tell you the exact millimeter of a difference of what it is, but it is definitely a lot softer of a ride, and it does allow for more flex in the front end if you like that sway bar feel on the road, and you don't really want to take your sway bar off. Another thing to keep in mind, guys, if you do take the sway bar off and you go in for an alignment, and I know the Taco's got the Taco lean because you got the battery and the gas tank and everything on the driver's side. You kind of want that sway bar in if you get the truck aligned, because if somebody hops in this truck, maybe a skinny kid, maybe somebody fat like me, not real fat, but fat enough to put a little bit of lean into the truck, then they're also they're going to be aligning the truck per the way the suspension squatting, and that could also screw up the alignment specs on it. So you're going to want that sway bar in, even if you just got to put it in for an alignment. You're going to want it in there. Just to keep the truck where it normally drives down the road. Some people might say, not even care about that. It is what it is, but I don't know about you. Tires are expensive today, and I like to try to make my tires last, rotate them as long as I can. So again, the next thing here, I will get stop talking and get my ass to gear here, and let's see what we got with 2 car ramps on the left front and right rear.